You're listening to the CoolCLE Show.
I'm Jay, host of the CoolCLE Show, brought to you by CoolCleveland.com, putting you in touch with cool events, people, news, and neighborhoods in the Cleveland region. This week, we're joined by Michael McFarland, a Cleveland musician who has started curating local music in mood-based Spotify playlists. ListenCLE.com now hosts 11 mixtapes like Feel Good and Misery Loves Company. Now a new playlist focused on holiday vibes from local bands old and new is available. We'll be talking to Michael McFarland later in the show about how and why he creates these playlists, as well as featuring 4 of the songs listed on Holiday Vibes, including Meg and the Magnetosphere, Modern Electric, Fair Dowells, and Shawn and Shelby in that order. First up, Meg and the Magnetosphere with the 2019 remix of Glow.
All around the world, there's a reason for the season, though we all use different words. We've been speaking the same language for thousands of years, and now we are more connected than ever before, and we'll share in each other's world. Family photos, mostly cocoa everywhere you scroll. It's happy, happy, happy holidays. I see you celebrate. I'm sending my love your way. Happy, happy winter time. We're moving slow right through the snow, and our faces start to glow. Over grandma's house we go. You know, Mary Ann, it's all happy, happy, happy winter time, when you're sharing all the love of where you come from, and the stars shine brightest in the sky when you join in and sing songs you'd never, but grandma's gonna bring those Christmas carols out, and you'll find yourself starting to glow, starting to glow, starting all around the world. There's a reason for the season, though we all use different words. We are more connected than ever before, and we'll share in each other's glow, and we'll share in each other. You laugh at all the pictures we take, but what's one more smile? We're laughing anyway, and we're starting to glow. We're starting to glow. We're starting to glow. We're starting to glow. That sparkling glow. Don't let it go. Be a reason beyond the season, when you pause on each picture frame. Think about how much we are the same. Happy holidays, family celebrate. That sparkling glow, that sparkling glow, that sparkling glow, that sparkling glow, that sparkling glow. Happy, happy, happy winter time. Happy holidays.
All right, I'm now joined by Michael McFarland, a Cleveland music favorite. He's here to talk about the local music scene, what he's up to, and all sorts of stuff. Some of his favorite local Christmas music that he's got on his latest Spotify playlist. Thank you so much, Michael, for joining us.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
So so obviously you're very busy with your own musical career. 2019's been a big one for you. You've kind of done this ultra modern new ego of yourself with projections. You've opened this underground music venue in your own home. You've started these local playlists as well.
Yep.
What's been sort of your favorite parts of this year?
Plate juggling has always kind of been something that I've done, as well as multiple hat wearing. So this is just kind of, it's as far as the hecticness of keeping it all balanced. It's been sort of a normal year, but a little more in the public sector than it is a lot of the time. But yeah, it's been really cool getting to branch out a little bit into different avenues of music. Like you mentioned, I launched Hello Head Rush, which is my multimedia science fiction concept electro rock one-man band thing. We've been releasing tracks for that throughout the course of the year. I've been playing a lot solo. I think I did the math, and it'll be just shy of 100 solo gigs that I played over the course of the year. But one of the things, like you mentioned, that I've been most excited about is these ListenCLE playlists that I've been working on.
Yeah. So how many have you got now, including the holiday vibes that you've just released?
I think I've got just around 10 of these.
Yeah.
The idea for doing these actually came when I was in Scotland with my partner Amanda.
Was this like your ancestral home with the McFarland thing?
My McFarland ancestors got run out of Scotland in the 1890s for being horse thieves. So that's kind of as precisely as I've been able to trace that back.
So the Spotify list kind of came out of that big trip?
Yes. So the second day that we were in Glasgow, we were sitting in a restaurant and there was music playing in the background. And initial impression was it was kind of a top 40 type station, that sort of production, that sort of sound. But as I was listening more closely, I realized that there were definitely, regional accents, whether Scottish or just generally British. And I started thinking about the idea of, localizing playlists and organizing music by mood. Because there have been a lot of Northeast Ohio or Cleveland artist playlists that have been put together before. There's such a great diversity in style and sound. So, I started thinking about what if I were to start to comb through local artists and start to organize playlists. The first one that I did was called Misery Loves Company, and I put out on Facebook like, hey, I want to make a playlist of sad songs from artists from around Cleveland. Apparently that was a really good lightning rod for getting people to jump on board with this, because that thread, for one, it turned me on to a ton of artists that I'd never even heard of before that were around the area. But it also yielded a huge amount of great music.
Sure.
And so the idea with a lot of the playlists, the ones that if you go to ListenCLE.com are listed at the top, is that they could be treated sort of like radio stations where there's, at least 4 hours of music in there, put it on shuffle. You're probably going to hear something that you haven't run into before. And while it may do a good bit of genre hopping, it's going to be a cohesive listening experience that you can just put on and enjoy. And so the second one, I was like, all right, I made a really sad one. So then there was the feel good playlist. And then I started working on an energy boost playlist. It was like, all right, if you're working out or like doing something like that, something that's got good beats to it, that's got like higher tempos and just kind of keeps you going. And then the groove playlist. And then out of those, there were all these tracks that like, I was going through and I'm like, I really like this. It doesn't belong on any of these playlists. Let me put it off to the side, and ended up with one of my favorites of all these, which is the night driving playlist, which is all of these sort of like in between vibe. Like, you know, they're not completely just like relax and chill. They've got a little bit of propulsive feel to them, but it's a lot of mid tempo, a lot of you know, it's sort of semi-sad or contemplative, or, you know, just this sort of playlist you'd put on when you got some miles to put behind you, and you're driving at night and got somewhere you got to get to. So, so it sort of evolved over the course of several months, and then it was around the change of the season into autumn. I started doing mixtape playlists, which are more like, you know, 10 to 15 songs that are ordered in a specific order to listen to, and are focused around a very specific theme. Which there's the Autumn Drive playlist that I did, then the Spooky Mood playlist. Which was one that people were like, hey, have you put together a Halloween playlist yet? So that was kind of cool that people were starting to request these. And then the same thing with this Holiday Vibes playlist, for not necessarily specifically Christmas music, but definitely like holiday season music. There are several tracks that are more about winter and the holiday season in Northeast Ohio than just purely about Christmas. But yeah, this one was a lot of fun to put together.
Shopping at a thrift store in December. This'll be a Christmas to remember. Dirty decorations never fail. Dirty decorations always on sale. Take it back slow up to our shoulders. I'm moving down the Florida when I get older. Digging out a cause with the vents all blowing. It'll be hours while the heat gets going. Hey, you're here. It's a Christmas on the North Coast. Raise your voice. It's a carol that you know. Raise your beer. It's a Christmas on the North Coast. Raise your voice. It's a carol that you know. That you know. Cycling your gifts at the office party, quoting all the lines from a Christmas story, wrapping up presents with the morning paper. Why spend the money when it's 5 years later? Raise your beer, it's a Christmas on the North Coast. Raise your voice, it's a carol that you know. Raise your beer, it's a Christmas on the North Coast. Raise your voice, it's a carol that you know. Raise your beer, it's a Christmas on the North Coast. Raise your voice, it's a carol that you know, that you.
How do you go about, curating all of this? Do you get, like you say, you when you kind of started it, you sort of put a call out to the community, but is it kind of, do you stumbling upon stuff? How does that come about?
In the case of this Holiday Vibes playlist, I did put out a message on Facebook, put out a post asking, hey, what Christmas or holiday or, wintry songs from local artists might I not have heard, and got a couple of really great ones sent my way that way. And then I just kind of started watching and started paying attention to posts, and there were several that people that I'm friends with on Facebook that hadn't seen the post said, hey, I've got a new track coming out for Christmas, here's the date. And so I made a note of like pre-save this to Spotify so I can add it to the playlist, and had a few folks like the Fair Dowells and Hannah Stack and people like that reaching out, letting me know that they had tracks that would be coming out that weren't there yet.
Stockings are all hung. Snow outside's begun to fall, and all the love is here. There comes this time of year. Burning bright, I could stay here all night in your arms, and I'm feeling so warm, safe here from the storm. Nothing to do, time standing still in this moment with you. Oh, and Christmas is so sweet when it's for two. Shining bright, ooh, nowhere to be and nothing to do. Time is too. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to you.
So, what does 2020 hold for Michael McFarland's ListenCLE playlists?
Oh, every January I set all of these goals and then end up accomplishing entirely different things. So that's really hard to predict. But one of the things, as far as the ListenCLE playlists is, so one of the basic things from the very beginning that I thought would be really great was to start connecting with local businesses and get these playlists to the point where we could come in and say, hey, right now you're playing such and such playlist that's of national artists. We have an equivalent that you could be playing local music, and here's some literature you could put out if people ask, like, oh, who's this that's playing right now? I'm like, oh, they're actually from Cleveland. Here's all the information about ListenCLE.com, all of the playlists, all that. So that's one of the things that that would be, if the year allows it, to be able to start outreach to locally run businesses, to get a little bit of that synergy between the local businesses and the local musicians, and using those avenues as a way to help spread the local scene.
There's a home that I've known. It's so far from me now. We listen to the radio, playing Christmas songs, deck the halls. A wonderful life, we wondered for how long. A kiss goodnight, a wish and a prayer for love with all our might. Oh, but now I'm older, it's colder, it's not right, it's not me. I've got Christmas and a glass of whiskey. What our family should look like. The table is full, the house is laughing. Someone say our grace. A beautiful place. The tree is bright with boxes and a starlight. Oh, but now that I'm older, I'm colder. It's not right, it's not about me. I've got Christmas and a glass of whiskey. And a glass of whiskey. And a glass of whiskey, so my mama would call me, this bar is old. Wish my father knew me so long. For days so long behind me, got to know colder, and it's not right. It's not about me. I've got Christmas and a glass of whiskey. And a glass of whiskey. Wonder where you are, a bottle of whiskey. I wonder if you miss me, a bottle of whiskey. I wanna call you tonight, a bottle of whiskey. I wonder where you are, a bottle of whiskey. Another Christmas night.
That was Shawn and Shelby with Christmas and Whiskey. You also heard from the Modern Electric with Northcoast Christmas and the Fair Dowells with Christmas for Two, all from Cleveland. Many thanks to Michael McFarland for coming on the show, and of course Meg and Magnetosphere, the Modern Electric, the Fair Dowells, and Shawn and Shelby for sharing their holiday music. Please make sure you check out all the Spotify playlists that McFarland has curated on ListenCLE.com. You've been listening to the CoolCLE Show, brought to you by CoolCLeveland.com. Have a very happy holiday and a happy new year.